Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
It fooled me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen.
Don't
Podcast,
listen to this.
if you're not of age.
What's of age?
This is 18 and up. Look, we're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words. And probably some things that might offend you. But
Don't listen to this.
can't wait till you listen.
Yeah, don't
If
do
you're
it.
18 and up.
Don't do it.
If you're 18 and
Yeah.
up.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast, episode 2 of Kurt Cobain.
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive deep into this one.
Deep Getting hella deep.
Obviously, if you have not listened to part 1, you won't know what we're talking about, and you will hate it, and you will leave a 1-star, blah, 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 blah.
Which I refuse to accept.
So go back, listen to episode 1, get all the info as we dive into this. This is really the conspiracies of
Portion
everything
of it,
and
yeah.
the poor policemanship.
Policeman
Yeah.
shit.
Amongst
Exactly.
other things.
And
Exactly.
before we get started, just want to do a quick little shout because we just want you guys to know we do look at our social media and we do see everything you guys do.
So if you guys want to hit us up too, you can either send us an email, info@theconspiracypodcast.com. Send us a DM. Just leave us a comment on our social media. That really helps a lot.
It's pretty great actually to see because we're getting about 10 emails or reaches almost a day, and it's pretty cool to see everybody's really into it and everybody's really appreciating the fact that we're taking serious subjects and we're trying to lighten that mood, but at the same time
Bring the facts.
bring the facts
Bring the
and
facts
go,
and
what is this? Like,
and
we don't need to go over the birth of Kurt Cobain, but maybe it's a good exercise to do it.
True. We do appreciate you guys see it. We're not trying to disrespect these topics, these people, these
Right,
incidents.
right.
Like, it's just, would you rather just be depressed about it? Or like, would you rather have a little fun while getting
yeah.
a little information and
Yeah.
we still get to talk about it?
Yeah.
Hopefully we entertain you guys.
Yeah.
Right? And the fact that you guys keep writing in, it makes us keep wanting to show up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we got live.
Yeah. We're hella famous now.
I mean, I wouldn't say hella
Kidding
famous.
me?
We're like,
crazy famous. Crazy.
if you saw, I
Crazy.
guarantee if you saw any of us in real life, you would not know who the fuck we were.
I love it though. That's the best part.
Yet.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
So the point is, we love you guys. We love the feedback. Keep it coming.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's go. Let's go
Okay, so
deep.
Kurt Cobain, we went over in the first episode.
Kurt Cocaine. Sorry.
We went over in the first
Very
episode
fitting.
about his life and how he rose to fame and all the way leading up to his death.
Yes.
And so here we go. So sometime on the evening of April 5th, he barricaded himself in his studio above the garage, locking one of the French doors, propping a stool against the other.
I mean, okay, real quick. Would you really call putting a stool in front of a glass French door barricading?
You're right. You're absolutely
He
right.
barricaded
I don't
himself
agree on this.
in-
Yeah, this
but,
point.
Yeah, but let me
Or
add,
he's ready to roll.
He put a fucking
Or is it
stool.
ready to roll?
He put
Honestly, it's a dumb stool. It's like that stool right
he
there.
put like a fold-up chair.
Yes,
like in
yes.
front of it.
let me say this though. There was a discrepancy there about the stool because
It wasn't even there.
it was not. It was not at the door. It was in the room, but it was not at the door. Now it was reported, or it was commented as that by one of the policemen, but then it turned out to be from another one that it wasn't. So there's even
So the one policeman was like, "This is a barricade."
yeah, it's like a barricade, but then the other one's like, no, we found it in the room, but it was off over there to the side.
When you think of barricade, what do you think of?
Dude, I think of like concrete fucking
Spikes
like,
on the road. Yes.
like there's like literally like sharpened wood.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking you don't want
Or
somebody
like
to come through. You don't want somebody
Or I
to come
think like
in.
a bookcase is pushed in
Yeah.
front of the door. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Zombie apocalypse. You just-
Exactly.
Dumb
like,
shit.
Grab the
Yeah.
file cabinet. Fucking
Yeah.
push it in front of the door. Like,
Quick, grab the stool.
they'll never get in. They'll never break the glass and move the stool.
Okay, so apparently he barricaded himself in the studio.
quote unquote.
And so some people call it a
Hypothetically.
studio. Yeah. Some people call it a studio. Some people call it the room above the garage. Some people call it a greenhouse.
Yeah, the
green
greenhouse,
room.
yeah.
Yeah,
Greenhouse,
exactly. So he wrote a one-page note.
Which Eric has a copy of. Let's flash it. Let's flash to the camera so they can see.
Anyways, we'll
Ready?
put it on
Give
social
him-
media. But he wrote a one-page note, and it was addressed to Boda.
Who the fuck is that?
Can you see that?
And that's
Boda.
Boddah.
Yes.
And why
This is-
why is the A and the H capitalized?
So this is the
That's
item.
isn't that weird?
So this is the item, and I'll show you. Basically, it was poked like this in the garden, just sitting there.
Nice.
That's when the police
A
walked
little
in.
little garden bed or whatever.
Yeah, a little
in there.
garden.
I mean, I guess the thing is, like, this is handwritten, and this is some of the shittiest handwriting I've ever seen. So it might
Yeah.
be real easy to.
So apparently, Boda was an imaginary friend when he was a kid, when his parents got divorced.
So he wrote this to an imaginary friend.
I don't
That's
know.
even more sketch.
So it was propped in a mound of dirt
Did
from an
he?
overturned plant.
Supposedly.
He smoked a few cigarettes, drank a can of root beer, then injected himself with a cocktail of heroin and Valium.
Wow.
He then put the drug paraphernalia back into the cigar box. So the needles, the drug, the spoon, the cord, and he put it back in
Everything's,
the
like,
cigar
put back
box.
neatly
Yeah,
in the
he
box.
laid it in. He laid down 2 towels and a brown corduroy jacket. Now this is debatable. He opened his wallet to show his driver's license.
To show it to where?
Like so,
The world?
So if you're,
you got
you know
like
how
a-
you have your driver's license in the first one, you maybe slide it up, right? Some people say that he did that to show people what his to verify his body because he was shooting himself in the head. But
I want to say like it's like Kim Kardashian like dies and they're like, who is this? Who could this be? Who is this person?
but per one report from a cop, they were the ones who pulled it out to see who it was to verify the body.
they were like, oh, it's his wallet. Let's
that
check.
makes more sense.
That makes way more
So
sense.
they pulled it out of the wallet, and
they're
then
like-
they placed it there so they could
Yes.
take a picture of it.
Okay, blonde hair. This is Kurt Cobain's house.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but
they'll never know who it
They
is.
didn't know that.
They
though.
didn't know that,
They
yeah.
didn't know that.
And
They
they
just
would
get a
fi-
call.
They would find.
They just got a call
It'd
from
be
the
really
electrician.
easy
I
for
know.
them to find
It would
out,
be
though.
very easy.
If it's registered to him, sure, but maybe it wasn't. The point is, they didn't know when they
didn't
showed
know.
up.
They didn't know, and that was the paramedics. Remember, he said nobody knew actually who it was, and
He
that
was
sort of thing.
barricaded.
So he then reached for his Remington M11, which we then determined.
We did determine because I know. So in episode 1, I did make a comment on whether or not it was a pump action shotgun or a tactical-esque shotgun. So we did confirm that this Remington is
Automatic?
It's a recoil action shotgun. So meaning the recoil of the gun when you shoot it cycles the next round. So
Okay.
it does automatically spit out a shell casing after firing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you pull a trigger, boom.
Yeah, the recoil
Spits out
the
the shell.
recoil of the gun causes the action to then load another shell into the chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay.
therefore expelling the spent shell casing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we did clarify that.
We clarified that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently he was laying on the floor, and he grabbed the shotgun, and with the shotgun stock gripped between his sneakers, so between his feet, right, and using his thumb, and the shotgun
right
was
hand.
inverted, and with his left hand.
I think
Or
it's
it might have been. It might have been his right
You,
hand.
know, you
But his
said the left hand was gripping the stock.
the stock, the barrel. Yeah. And so then he pulled the trigger with his thumb.
Right.
But
Then
the gun was inverted, so
Yes.
therefore the shell casing should shoot out to the right hand side.
That's right. But the
Right.
shell was found on his clothes on the left hand side.
Which is improbable. It's like physics doesn't ricochet the shell casing to the side. Unless he was facing the other way and then like he like spiraled, fell down after he shot his head.
Or is it possible that like the shotgun could have turned around as it shot?
There you go. That is one
I guess
theory.
it's possible. I mean, I don't
So
know
would
the
it
physics
flip?
of that, but no, like just turn, hits a thing, and
Right,
like,
so it was
turn-
not
it's
inverted.
Like, it like turns in his hand. He's like holding. He's like, and then
Yeah.
then it turns.
Yeah.
That's I guess that's possible. That seems possible. Yeah. No, I mean,
But
not probable.
instantaneously, wouldn't his hands clasp out
No.
of reflex?
no,
No?
because if let's say if you shoot yourself, for example, so if you the I think it's the amygdala or whatever, like the thing that
Dula ma'amlagama.
no, so it's like the thing at the bottom. So if you get shot there, there's no all action stopped. There is no the
So it's not a reflex thing.
no
It's not
synapses
like
don't fire. It's like nothing happens.
It's not like when the
you're-
doctor bangs my thing.
No.
I go like that.
No, I don't think there would be any reflexive
the
action.
thing in your knee?
So
And
if
the-
anything,
and the
it's
His hand was gripping it because it's rigor
rigor
mortis.
mortis,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah.
the blood is actually congealing, so then his hand becomes like
so
a
that's
stone.
the 2 days.
Yeah, that's
that
the 2 days. The
goes
2
by-
days holding it.
Yeah.
makes it like a rock.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
So it's totally possible.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
it is possible.
I mean, yeah, when you shoot a shotgun, like you get some good recoil
Dude.
out of that.
So his suicide note. Okay. A couple things on the suicide note. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's a bit.
First of all, I can't really read it.
Yeah.
well, I have
first
it.
of all.
I have it
I can read
transcribed.
I can read the first one
Yeah,
speaking.
I have
I
it
can read
transcribed.
Buddha.
But
Buddha.
so a majority of it is about his music and to his fans. And so the first 4 paragraphs are about how he's talking about how he didn't enjoy the fame.
He's like, "This is your fault."
So he
I didn't
says,
like you. I
no,
didn't
no,
want
no.
you to love
He's
me.
actually very apologetic, and he's just very much. He's like, for example, when we're backstage and the lights go out and the manic roar of the crowds begin, it doesn't affect me the way in which it did Freddie Mercury, who seemed to love and relish in the love and adoration from the crowd, which is something I admire and envy. The fact is, I can't fool you, any one of you. It simply isn't fair to me. The worst crime I can think of would be to rip people off by faking it and pretending as if I'm having 100% fun. So he's saying he didn't like it. He didn't really dig it the way Freddie Mercury did.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like it.
Like,
And he didn't want to be a
fucking
fake.
Feed off of it. Like,
Yeah, he didn't want to be a
he's like
fake about
fucking
it.
Prince, and he's like, "Worship me, bitch."
Yeah.
So it sounds like he just loved the
He's
music
like the
and
music.
the art.
Yeah, he should have been a
And not-
ghostwriter. He
Yeah,
should've
yeah,
like-
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, and now here's where conspiracy theories jump in, right? So here's the theory. The theory is that he took heroin
Yes.
mid this letter.
Oh, for sure. Because you can see how the writing just gets progressively smaller.
Yes.
This is like Willy Wonka's contract.
So, but conspiracy
It's like-
conspiracy theorists say that the second half of the letter was written by somebody else.
The second half?
Well, the second, like the
it-
bottom
You mean
portion.
the bottom?
Oh, like for Frances, for her life?
You could
Do you see how it just changes
Yeah.
font?
Yeah,
it changes all the things.
Yes.
True.
I would say that that's somebody else.
Yeah, but like at the end, it's like Frances and Courtney, I'll be at your altar. Then it's like completely different font.
Yes.
Yeah, completely different.
But the end stuff doesn't really it's not really compelling. It just says, "Please keep going, Courtney, for Frances, for her life, which will be so much happier without me." Okay, really?
Yeah. I mean, that's the
I
that's
love
the
you.
words of a suicide,
That's
right?
true. Well, I don't know what the rest is. Is anything in the rest kind of alluding to death?
No.
Oh,
I mean, he does at the end of him talking about his music. The last 3 paragraphs are about, I have a goddess of a wife who sweats ambition and empathy, and a daughter who reminds me too much of what I used to be. Full of love and joy, kissing every person she meets because everyone is good and will do her no harm. Anyways, you get the idea.
I mean,
he's saying, I have it good, I'm grateful, but since the age of 7, I've become hateful and towards humans in general,
I mean, I do think that
which is around the time when his parents were divorcing, and I don't know.
True.
You know what I mean?
I do think that it does seem like a gentleman letter for the most part, because like all the typos that just like scratched out. Thank you for that. Makes it way more realistic. He's like, fucking nope. Scratch that out and like keep writing.
So here's the info on it. What was found by the aunt of Cobain
Okay.
in Courtney's handbag
Ooh.
was practice handwriting sheet.
No way.
Yeah.
What?
And this is in that documentary, right?
Yeah.
Of Soaked in Bleach.
Soaked in
Like
bleach,
her
yeah.
practicing his handwriting?
It's debatable. You know, practice handwriting, right? And then
Like,
it was
like a notebook for
practicing handwriting.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
to
a little
kind
creepy.
of
That's a little sketchy.
Yeah. So then it's Kurt Cobain's suicide note was analyzed by handwriting experts who unanimously agree that the first portion and the bulk of the letter appears to be Kurt addressing his fans and discussing why he's choosing to quit.
Oh, so he's like, I'm taking time off. Like, I can't do this. I love you.
Not
like,
a suicide note.
he's
but
like, I'm done.
This is the letter that he was writing to quit Nirvana.
That makes sense because I don't know why they got so much bigger in the end.
Right.
It's,
So the only
it's
part-
completely different.
Yeah, the only a part that alludes to suicide is actually the part that looks like a different handwriting
Oh,
style.
also look at I think that even the top part, like even the two Buddha thing,
That's
is,
right,
is,
that's right.
is so much different. Look at the top, Eric. The two Buddha.
Yeah,
it's
different.
Those are it's just
Yeah.
added.
So there's two sides. One is the conspiracy side, which is somebody else wrote it, and they took part of what he did write and just put it together.
And then
added to it. Or the other side, which is that he was high as fuck.
Yeah, he's also on heroin. So
Yeah, but like, I mean, if you,
I mean,
if
just
you
imagine
shoot
you-
up, if
okay,
you shoot
let's-
up heroin, like you normally
Are
like,
you
you're
functional?
yeah, exactly. Are you? No, right? Not to write a note.
No.
I mean, when you're doing heroin on the level that he was, sure. I mean, look at all those crazy rock stars that would be performing. They do a whole concert, fucking high on heroin. Can you bet? I can't even look at a guitar, let alone like play it. And they're like singing and playing and
true.
like sweating and like
He
dancing.
remember
like,
he
a good
OD'd and
point.
then
he OD'd, then did a
and then went
concert.
did a show.
Are you kidding me?
Jesus Christ.
I can't even. I have a hard time taking care of my kid when I'm hungover. Like, Jesus Christ!
I'm not even
And
gonna
I'm
be
not
able to,
even doing
yeah.
heroin. I'm drinking beer, Miller Lights.
Honestly, I don't even think I can mow the lawn tomorrow. I don't think that's gonna
It's too
happen.
much. It's too much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I don't know,
believe
that-
he can do it.
that's-
I think he could do it.
So they have handwriting experts saying that it's two different people.
True. My
And
other
then
thing is
they have people saying that
Unanimously,
yeah, so
saying
it's-
that.
I do think that he has been doing heroin for a very long time, and I think he's.
So his tolerance.
I
is
think
like,
he can function while doing it.
Wow. Okay.
I do believe that. I do believe that.
okay.
All right. Well, that leads into a perfect next one.
No, that's just a fucking layup.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, Courtney Love hired a PI, and this PI was named Tom Grant. And this is a majority of what this documentary or movie is, and it's called Soaked in Bleach. Jorge did their homework. Sean didn't.
First of all, they didn't tell me about this shit, and then I literally found out mid recording this.
Yeah.
They're like, "You didn't watch it?" I was like, "No one. Where's my message?"
Yeah. Well,
You know,
like
when you want to get ready,
it was
you
like
do your own research.
what's the word? It was obvious.
First of all, Jorge, when's the last episode that you did, bro? You need to step your game up, Playboy. Even the ones I did.
It's like the only one.
That was like episode 4.
I know.
We're on episode 40.
Okay, so she hired somebody by the name of Tom Grant as the private investigator. And his theory is that Courtney Love arranged his murder. And
like she didn't do it, but she set it up.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
Okay.
Did he ever have to go to court or anything about this, or no? It was just like
he never really provided enough evidence that
Yeah,
the
he was
police,
just, he was just like,
bring something against
that
her.
the police would do anything about it. Whether or not
it's like me
Which is
saying
another
like
thing they were probably going to get into, like the
Yeah.
shitty job that police.
yeah.
worse than OJ.
Okay, so the biggest argument in Grant's theory is in his toxicology report. It came back that he had 1.52 milligrams per liter of
Heroin.
morphine levels, which is the measurement of heroin.
Is that a lot? I have no idea. Is that like
Wait,
hella?
is morphine the same thing as heroin? What? I'm confused.
Heroin is an opioid drug made from morphine.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. So it's the base. It's like the base
Right.
Yeah.
measurement. You know what I mean? Yeah, because they don't.
So it's like morphine is like the pure, like the fucking
Yeah.
root.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
it's just
so
like
that's how they
a
measure it.
lesser form.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 1.52 milligrams per liter, right? And there was Valium in his blood as well.
No, but do we know, is it like mad high?
Yeah. So
I don't
per
know.
grant, it's 7 times the fatal dose.
Jesus Christ.
7 times.
7
Oh, so he
times.
should have just, maybe he was already dead.
So that's his argument is 1.52. It's 7 times what would kill me.
I mean, that's probably 20 times what would kill any of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So the idea stems from that, which is then, okay, if he did the heroin, he couldn't have written the note,
No.
or at least the note was written well ahead.
Oh,
and
okay,
in addition, he couldn't have put it back in the box.
No. Hell no. Yeah.
And then he couldn't have gotten in that position and then shot himself.
Oh, so that makes sense.
And barricaded the door. I mean, all these things, you know.
Well,
you
he
know,
could have barricaded the
I-
door
and then
done
done
the
all
note,
the stuff.
then
Yeah.
shot himself up with heroin. But then, are you that,
Capable of all
yeah?
this
Are you
stuff.
that capable still of the motor controls of sitting down and putting a shotgun to your head and pulling a trigger? With 7
'Cause he
times,
put it all
with 7
away.
times the legal, or
So
not the legal,
he
but
put
the,
it all away.
the lethal
So you're
limit.
You're cooking it.
Oh, yeah, don't
all the
forget.
stuff. I don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? And
I
then you
don't
inject it, and then it's instant.
It's straight
I
in
know
your blood-
heroin
it's
is
straight in your
immediate.
It's straight in your bloodstream.
I know.
He's literally almost at like close to half an ounce of heroin,
Yeah.
which seems like a fucking exorbitant amount. That's a lot of heroin. Like,
So now, obviously, he's been doing it years.
but it's a half an ounce of heroin.
Yeah. So that's the biggest part.
That's what I'm saying. That does seem like a lot.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a lot.
Yeah.
It's 7 times the lethal
Yeah.
fucking limit. 7 times.
I don't know if he was like writing a letter
I know.
on that deep. Maybe he wrote it before he was deep.
That's what I'm saying. So
He could have wrote it before.
so that could have happened.
He could have wrote it
He
before.
had
It's
to.
really,
How can you,
really?
like-
Can you? Do you put it all away and tuck it away? All
So maybe
nice?
he did it, and then
You, you smoke a cigarette.
No.
Shotgun. You load it.
No way.
But
If
then
it's
you
if
put
it's
it
a
into the
one-
garden in the thing,
with the stab
No
it into
way.
the garden.
No way. No
and
way.
then
No way.
and then you load the shotgun. You lay down. You put all your shit away into the box, and then pull the trigger.
Not with 7 times. Not with, no.
Jorge,
If you're talking about like
So the
a
argu-
normal, regular amount of heroin, a normal, regular.
I just don't think. I just don't know.
Where you
because
can
just
still
basing it all in
maybe you can
movies.
still function a little
I'm
bit.
basing it all in movies where they put it in and
I
they
know,
go,
me too, me too.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
can't move.
But I have to be the voice of saying it because none of us have done heroin, so none of us really know
That's
what it's
true.
like.
Mhm.
Especially,
That's a good point.
And none of us have done heroin for 10 years.
That's
Like-
another good point.
you know?
Good point.
So I
Sean.
don't know how like functioning heroin addicts operate because I just
that,
don't
true
know.
that.
I know if he was at 7 times the legal limit of Miller Lights, he's not right now. He's not right
Miller
now.
Lights.
well, one thing that is against the conspiracy of it is that there's 2 types of measurements. One is called free morphine count, and the other is called total morphine count. Okay.
Okay.
And so some forensic studies have been done where free morphine count would measure the immediate morphine that has not been broken down by
Yeah,
proteins.
just like not metabolized.
That's right.
Yeah.
So those measurements are different because
Of course, because your body will eventually break down anything.
yeah,
that
so
goes
you
into
could
the
have done
system.
it a day ago, and there's still some in there.
Yeah.
and that's part of the total morphine account, but not part of the free morphine account.
Okay.
Right. So when they did the toxicology report, they did not specify if it was free or total.
Oh, so meaning that could have been this residual.
Could have been from 4 days ago.
Yeah, it's like he's been pumping it up for fucking days, and they're it's total morphine counts. Hella, that seems plausible.
Okay.
So
plausible.
it's just the anti argument. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah. Jorge's
Which you love to
Jorge's
take.
like, fuck you.
Jorge actually stopped. Jorge stopped listening 30 seconds ago.
of which, yeah. So of which the survivable free morphine count is 0.12.
But he was at 1.5.
Right.
0.12.
But he was at
And he was at
1.5.
1.2.
Okay.
But the total is different. You see how they're just different calculations?
Yeah. Okay.
And so we don't know which one was what.
So even if it was even if he was at, Because like even if
He's at 1.2.
and it was in the free morphine count that's like deadly is like 0.1. So he's still 12x. The fucking like he's like.
But we don't know. So it continues to this day.
I think
we don't
either-
know if it was free or total morphine.
My
count.
thing is, I think either way, it's still a fuckload of morphine. Like
It's a lot.
In either
No,
count,
it's a lot. It's a lot. But the lower one would be functional. Because it would be 0.12.
For a normal person, or
No, for him. For a drug addict.
No, they were just they were saying
okay.
no. So his free morphine count at the time was 0.12.
We don't know. It's either 1.25, but we don't know if it was free
No, I'm
or
saying
total.
No, but no, you were saying like the lower number would have been functional if it was 0.12.
If it's free morphine count is 0.12 is fatal.
Yeah.
If it's total,
What's
then
fatal?
it's much more.
we
It's
know
like 5.
okay.
You
That's
see,
why
there's a difference. Yeah, it's like
So
it's
if it was-
confusing.
So if it was
Yeah.
total, he would have been
just
functioning.
fucking-
He'd have been like just
You would've
wasted.
been high
but
as
like
shit. Yeah.
Okay,
But we don't know.
I understand that.
Yeah, because the toxicology report
because they
didn't specify.
They did a super thorough job.
Yeah. Honestly, do you remember how you had the test and it was the cheap one?
Yeah, and they're like
Everybody's
And
positive.
they're like, yeah, no, and they're 8 out of 10 of these are wrong.
But
But it's like $4.99. I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. I'm gonna take that one.
they're like inconclusive.
Yeah.
Like what?
So you see how I'm not saying it's for or against, but we just don't know.
We
just don't know.
And they just didn't give a fuck.
They did a poor. This is actually early on in the whole forensic files land. The early '90s. It wasn't quite.
There wasn't like hot. It wasn't
Yeah.
streamlined.
So I don't know. And he was high.
Oh, 100%. He was high.
For sure.
He was
was
totally
high.
high. I'm not. No one's
debating.
No one's refuting the
Yeah.
fact that he was high.
He was high.
100% high.
But the question then is, because that's the biggest part of Tom Grant's conspiracy,
Was that the levels were
so high that
yeah.
he couldn't even do anything. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, a couple other things. Yeah, the shotgun. So it's a Remington Model 20 gauge shotgun. It was purchased by Dylan for him.
His homie. Like,
Yeah.
fucking- That guy probably feels like shit.
And like we had
know,
said,
right?
oh, so bad. Like we had said, Cobain didn't want to purchase the gun in his name because he thought the police might seize it because they seized the other guns before it.
Yeah.
Right? The police had taken away his guns twice in the previous 10 months.
Twice. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the one time.
Yeah, we only knew about one.
King County medical examiner noted puncture wounds on the inside of both the right and left elbows.
So like puncture wounds from like needles?
Unknown.
Why would I'm injecting
elbow.
into your elbow.
Unknown. That's all I got.
Okay.
The day of finding the body, they didn't check for fingerprints. So
They're
they
like,
walked in.
"Suicide."
they walked in, yes.
And they were like
totally
they were
right.
touching everything. Like,
Totally right.
We don't need gloves.
They're like, this is suicide.
yeah, they're like suicide.
Oh yeah.
100%.
They didn't have like protocols back
So
then.
they didn't check for fingerprints. So then later on, May 6th, 1994, they decided to check for fingerprints.
Yeah, but I'll say one thing. I mean,
May 6th is a month later, just so we're all clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guys that showed up, so the police that showed up that ruled it a suicide. One thing we left out: Courtney Love had called the police to report him as a missing person,
Yeah.
but she filed a report under the mom's name.
That's right.
What?
Yes,
2 or 3 days earlier.
2 or 3 days earlier, and she said that the mom says right, but she said to the cops, "I think he's suicidal." And so they were so by the time they show up there, they're already kind of
Suicide.
colored or whatever you call it, right? Like with this preconception of like, oh, it's a suicide. Like this guy's suicidal.
Why would she file it? That's a little sketch with under the mom's name.
Yeah.
Well, she says that it was like to keep her name out of the press and
Oh, you're not fucking relevant anymore. I'm sorry. Like
She was at the time, though.
yeah,
not
she
at
definitely
that,
was.
Not at that
Time,
time.
dude.
She was. I
No,
thought
she
was,
was,
dude.
Yeah,
Whole?
Yeah, she still was, 100%.
Never heard whole.
So on the fingerprints, they then ran the prints, but there was not a single print that was verifiable.
Yeah, it's a month
There were
later.
smudged prints, of which then they also determined that it was wiped.
Well, I mean, it's also like
But it's a month later.
it's a month later. Like the
But
oils.
at the same time, it's wiped.
But it could
So
have been
conspiracy theorists go, the fucking gun was wiped.
Well, it could have
Right.
been from them touching things. They're like, yeah, they're touching.
So
That's explainable to me.
So they
It's been a
fucked up
month.
on the crime scene. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying?
exactly.
And then
Yeah, it's been a month. It's been a fucking month. You know how many people have been touching everything in there?
True.
Like,
It doesn't work either.
it doesn't
way.
help. Yeah, it just
Yeah.
fucks everything up. Yeah.
But that's a huge part of the conspiracy, which is that there were no fingerprints and it was wiped.
Yeah.
So obviously you can't kill yourself with no fingerprints, and somebody wiped it. It's a straight movie where they,
Well, here's the other thing
You know?
that I would like to know, because we have to look at things scientifically.
dude.
So
Sean has turned a leaf. I mean, we're at episode 40
Eric
or
is trying to-
something. But episode 1, he was like, "Motherfucking conspiracy, alien come down now." Hip.
no, first of all, Eric's been trying,
Everything conspiracy.
for the last 7 years, Eric's been trying to convert me over to not believing conspiracy
Honestly, he
theories.
is now more.
No,
He's
no,
being scientific.
All I need now
all of
is
a
you,
sudden.
and then we're in.
no. I will never fully convert. But I do have to look at it from his perspective. Okay, it's been a month.
Yeah.
So you're able to take fingerprints because it's the oils in the skin that leave the fingerprint. How long do those last on a surface? I don't know.
I don't know the answer.
If it's like a month before it dissipates, you can't be like, oh, well, there's no fingerprint. Well, if it was a month later and the oils don't last that long, well, then that's why.
But
I don't know.
fingerprints last forever?
No, they don't. That is
You don't know.
that is a lie. They do not last forever.
Like,
No, not forever. Okay, fine, not forever. But that's a good question. How long?
if we find Jesus's cloth, like the cloth, the
Oh, yeah, I know
the,
what you're
yeah. If his finger's on there, is it on there? I don't know the answer.
There's no scientific way to know how long a latent fingerprint will last. That's what I got.
Could be. Okay.
So
All right.
fingerprints have been developed on porous surfaces 40 years and later after their deposition. On non-porous surfaces, they can also last a very long time.
Okay. All right. Well, a couple points of just finances. Let's talk finances for a second, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So Kurt Cobain died without a will. So upon his death, half of his worth and future earnings were put into a trust estate for his daughter, Frances. We kind of mentioned that.
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
The other half was given to Courtney Love because they were still married. They didn't go through with a divorce.
Okay.
Yeah. At that time, it was estimated around $120 million. Today, the entire estate is nearly $500 million.
But it's also worth noting that he did call his lawyer
That's right, he did. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
to try to remove Courtney from his will, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But didn't that happen back in Rome, like back in that time period?
When he was, I'm going to divorce her. I
That's
want to
right.
quit Nirvana, all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah. But apparently those documents were brought up, but he didn't sign it.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's why it didn't execute.
Do we know when it was brought up? Like,
Maybe it was high.
During the Rome time.
Oh,
it was
okay.
during the Rome time.
So it's
it was
not like
recent.
a day before.
No, but it was a couple
Wait,
months.
wait.
couple
It was
months,
during the
yeah.
Rome time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's during the Rome time and she's like, we're hypnol.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't sign it.
Absolutely.
We're hypnol.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, go sleep. Go sleep,
So-
bitch.
So it was well known. So it was well known that Kurt was unhappy with their marriage and he wanted to divorce her. Mm-hmm. If he did do that, she stood to inherit nothing. They had a prenup.
That is a strong motive.
That's what I'm
Money is a motivation.
saying. Strong.
Although, so they never signed it. So he died. She got everything aside from what Frances got. So she got the rights to his music, his name, his image, his likeness, and she was set for pretty much.
If she's what do you mean pretty much? If you're not set for life with $100 million, like you are a piece of shit. Like
Kurt
Jesus
Cobain. Kurt Cobain is one of the highest grossing dead musicians in history.
But really, okay.
Here's what's crazy. So if you remember the dates, he was only famous for like 3
6
years.
yeah,
Not
3 years,
even.
3 years.
Yes.
Like nothing. That's nothing.
That's 0 years.
And he died at 27.
That's like nothing amount of time, but
Yeah.
the level of famous was definitely
Yeah.
high. It was up
Yeah.
there.
But everybody benefited. His managers, record label.
Oh yeah, they're all
Everybody.
Everyone's
Yeah. And he, I mean, from sources, he wanted to quit.
he was done.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't Courtney. Maybe it was the record company. They're like, he's gonna quit, and they're like, kill him.
So here's a couple of theories.
Isn't there a thing of the 27? Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah,
part of
that's
the
another
27.
thing.
Yeah, he's part of the 27.
So he died when he was 27.
27.
There's a lot of other rock stars that have died from 20 at the age of 27.
Throw them out. Who are they?
From
James
overdose
Dean.
specifically, right?
James
Yeah, maybe
Dean.
that was it.
Who else are they?
We got members of the club, Kurt Cobain,
Jimi
Brian
Hendrix.
Jones, Jim Morrison, Amy Winehouse,
Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix,
Robert Johnson.
Jimi Hendrix. There you
Jim
go.
Morrison.
Jim Morrison. Okay, so there was a person and a musician who went by the stage name of El Duce.
El
And he
El
came
Duce.
forward. Yeah, he came forward after Kurt's death and claimed that Courtney Love offered him $50K to murder Kurt and then to stage it as a suicide.
Wait, who is this guy though? Like,
He's someone
El
trying.
Duce.
He's someone trying to get famous.
yeah, exactly.
But here's what's crazy.
El
Here's what's
Duce.
crazy. He turned her down because he didn't think she was serious.
But he would have accepted if he thought she was serious.
After Kurt's
If you're
death,
serious, I would take it.
After Kurt's death, he came forward and spoke about it in an interview that was
a bio-
live.
in a biopic.
And he accidentally let a name slip named Alan. He's like, oh, whoops, Alan. Oh, Alan took the contract.
Alan who?
he
I
said
know.
that?
He didn't say. We don't know.
He said took the contract.
Yes. So, but
Oopsie
then, so he passed a lie detector test too, which
is
take
not
that for
admissible
what
in
it is,
court.
yeah.
and means nothing.
So then, right after that, mysteriously, he passed out on a railroad track and was beheaded by a train.
What?
I'm sorry. Who in the entire history of mankind has passed out on a railroad track? I'm just gonna take a little nap on the railroad track.
Did he happen to have 7 times the lethal limit?
Isn't that so
Fucking
weird?
heroin.
He had a pound of heroin in his system. He was taking a little nappy nap.
So local investigators, local PIs, local podcast listeners, they looked into it and they found somebody by the name of Alan Wrench, who is believed to be the hitman that Courtney Love wound up hiring.
Dude, the fact that this guy fell asleep on the railroad tracks. That's the sloppiest
Isn't
job
this
of killing a
crazy?
dude
I
ever.
know. So that's one of
That's wild.
I'm just
that's
exhausted.
That's a conspiracy.
First of all,
there.
you gotta find railroad tracks. You gotta go search them out. You gotta go like
Also,
literally-
you couldn't move enough to not be beheaded.
Or you're just gonna sleep on the rocks next to the railroad? Like what the fuck?
Oh God!
I'm just gonna lay down. I'm just gonna lay down on the track with my
It's
head
not
right
like
there.
You're being beheaded by a knife. You're being
By a train. Jeez. It might actually be faster.
Wow.
Sorry, buddy.
So that's super sketch.
Sorry, El Duce.
El Duce.
Duce.
El Duce.
D-U-C-E.
It's Duce.
Douche?
Duce? Yeah.
Well,
Deuce?
Eric,
Deuce?
Deuce?
Maybe it's just Deuce.
Maybe it's a Duque.
A Deuce.
Deuce.
A Deuce. A Deuce.
You're trying to like fancy it up with douche.
It's D-U-C-E. I don't... Like he's like number 2?
Yeah.
Well, Deuce is D-U-E-C.
Alan Deuce.
Okay, another...
Dutchy.
Yeah, another... Okay, here's another conspiracy. It's rumored that Kristen Pfaff...
Fuff.
It's P-F-A-F-F.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
did I
right.
work it
Yeah,
out?
sounds right.
Worked out right?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
So it's rumored that Kristen, who was the bassist in Courtney Love's band Hole, was secretly in love with Kurt, and they wanted to desperately get away from Courtney and the drug scene. After Kurt's death, she was devastated. She quit Hole, moved back to her hometown in Minnesota, got sober, and recuperated. 2 months later, she returned to Seattle to pick up the last of her belongings and say goodbye, but she never left. And the day of her departure, she was found in her bathroom, overdosed on heroin.
Oh, God.
Was this before or after his death?
After
His death. After his death.
So she was distraught by his death.
Oh, okay.
Quit Hole. She
Okay.
quit Hole.
Got it.
The band, and then went to Seattle, overdosed. And there's even evidence that Courtney yelled at her in front of everybody, saying, "Stay away from Kurt."
I mean, I can see like her being in love with him, but I don't necessarily believe that one.
Now, in the documentary, what's it called again?
Soaked in
Something
bleach.
Soaked in Bleach.
Yeah.
So
I don't
Tom,
like that name. I really don't like it.
yeah. Okay.
It's like fucking gargling bleach, like drowning. I'm like, oh, it's too much.
In the documentary, they go over how Courtney was very jealous of their relationship, or if at least them like talking and getting closer or whatever. So
Sure.
I don't know, just to mention that she was very.
I can see that her being. She wants that cash, bro.
She seems like a jealous.
She seems like a,
Yeah, she's like
cash hungry.
stage
jealous
clinger.
and controlling.
Yeah,
At least that's how they describe her.
yeah.
Makes sense. I mean,
And soaked in bleach.
she was soaked in bleach.
So lastly, in 2014, the Seattle Police Department decided to develop 4 rolls of film that had been in the evidence vault
For 18 years.
and release them.
Jesus.
So you can go see those. But it's really just photos of like his Converse and the window and
It's nothing. It's just like the
not-
wall.
Honestly, and the guy, you remember I showed you the photo of the guy with the shotgun? That was one of them.
Oh, okay.
And, so nothing.
Nothing special.
Yeah. And then his FBI file was released recently. Nothing special. 2 pages of nothing.
Yeah.
Really. So there you go. That's Kurt Cobain.
That's interesting because like when at the time, again, according to this documentary, you guys got to watch that too if you haven't seen it. So Tom, the PI, he was trying to investigate still what was going on. He goes to the police department trying to just find out what's up with these pictures, what's up with these photos, what you guys find out, this and that. And they were basically telling him, we're not releasing them. We're not even developing them.
Yeah.
Forget about it. Just like forget about these pictures. Like we're not.
Shut
they're
up.
not
Leave us
coming out.
alone.
But that's crazy.
I don't mean to be morbid, but I think it would be relevant to see what he looked like.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Like his autopsy photo.
Well, yeah.
Because we don't even know if it was in his neck
Or
if
his
it was
mouth,
his head.
yeah, I don't know.
We have no idea.
Right.
All we do know is that the
He got
paramedics.
shot by a shotgun.
Yeah, but remember the paramedics were like, yeah, you could still see that it was him.
Yeah, but also wasn't the autopsy?
I mean, a shotgun's insane.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, do you get shot in the arm with a
Yeah.
shotgun?
That seems
And
unreasonable.
the fact that there wasn't a lot of blood is kind of weird.
yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
a shotgun just causes all kinds
But
of
what's
blood.
a lot of blood? Like who said that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
We don't know. We don't really know how much.
Maybe
there
it was like a lot of blood to me.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
to me,
That's what
I'm
I'm
like,
saying.
there was hella blood everywhere.
I was gonna say though, the autopsy wasn't made public, and it's
Yeah.
it's supposed to be
Still.
supposed to be public record. It's
Not
supposed-
in
n-
Aberdeen.
exactly.
Yeah,
which
not
is
in Aberdeen
strange.
or Seattle.
But everywhere
Not
else.
Wood-
Everywhere
not-
else. Tampa, that shit would be everywhere.
Not in wood country.
Yeah. It's actually very abnormal for it to not be
right.
public.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Yeah.
Anyways, and also, so we were talking about the shotgun shell being on the wrong side of the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if he had
That one seems to be the hole.
it does.
Doesn't it?
I mean, I
Yeah.
do think. I guess it is technically possible for the gun to rotate in his hand,
Or maybe a ricochet.
but off of what? Off of
Well, that's what I was gonna say. The only thing, so I was thinking in my head, okay, so if you're holding it with your feet, right, at the
Yeah.
bottom, and then you pull the trigger, maybe it bounced off of his knee.
arm or something. Yeah,
No,
like-
his knee or something, because like
and it's like
or
he's
his
holding-
leg, whatever, like right, and then it bounced to the other side. Like that's the
Well, no,
only
it could have been his
explanation I
arm
can
too,
think of.
because like he was holding it with his left hand,
Oh,
hit it
true,
with his right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess I guess that's
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
Oh,
It is a little weird though that they didn't
it's
find him.
it's
for-
weird.
But
Yeah.
but it's also weird they didn't find him for 2 days.
I'm like, when they start
You
to
know-
smell dead body,
you know what's
like
strange?
it's almost like a corpse. In
You know
here.
what's strange is those people were living there.
Right. That's what's strange.
Can you imagine just living there for 2
For 2
days?
days?
And there's a
Which-
dead body upstairs.
Which, by the way, who's living there was again.
Callie,
he was the
yeah,
ex-boyfriend.
Callie and I think even Dylan stayed there, or Dylan showed
Oh, he did.
Tom Grant around.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. They did
showed
go.
Him, they tried to find him.
They try to find him.
Yeah.
They show up at the house. They're looking for him. They were looking for the shotgun too.
Needless
That's
to
why.
say-
That's why they showed up at the house because Dylan's like, I got to go. Check out to see if the shotgun's there or whatever. Because I heard Courtney called me and she said that he's suicidal.
I just gotta
Right?
say, this guy has to be the worst PI. He literally couldn't find the guy. He was in
know,
his
dude.
own house.
That is embarrassing.
Where is he?
That
He's
is
literally in his own house. Like you
Also-
can't find the guy.
also-
Now it wasn't just
also there
to
was one
clarify.
story,
Just to
yeah.
clarify real quick on where he was not in the house. It was
Like
like
a separate-
It was like a separate
it was
thing.
a room
like
above
a
the
mother-in-law
garage.
It was a,
suite.
a room above the
room
garage,
above the garage.
that
But still, he went there
supposedly,
twice.
according to the, huh?
He went there twice.
You couldn't have
Oh,
checked
with their
it out.
cars?
Like,
I didn't know that.
I
part.
figured private investigators would be like, first things first. Let's just like
You would
search,
check everywhere.
let's
and
just
you-
search the property.
The super embarrassing part of the story is that so he's searching for him for like 2 days. He can't find him, right? Like can't find Kurt.
The guy's waxing it for expenses.
So then the electrician comes and he looks, and the electrician, like a bonehead, he doesn't even call the cops. He calls a radio station.
Oh, that's right.
And he goes, hey, there's like a rock star dead.
Oh my God, what a douche.
So then the PI is in his car
Listening
listening
to
to
the
the radio. And he's like, oh, I'm looking for him. And it was super embarrassing.
Hey, do we know who called the electrician out there?
No, I don't think
What,
so.
you know,
I don't know. Yeah, but
I wonder
that'd
who
be
did.
an interesting.
It's like, hey, I
it's
need
probably
I-
Courtney.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, for sure.
And she and what did she
Probably
say? She's
Courtney.
like, oh, go in the greenhouse. I need something fixed in there.
Yeah.
She's like, there's electrical in there. There's a little spotty.
I had a light bulb go out. Go, go check out the greenhouse.
Here's a $500 deposit.
So,
Where are we at?
yeah, where you at, Sean?
Dude, I'm like, I do think there's a lot of weird
Suspects.
things. There's a lot of suspect things that are happening. I mean, I obviously the sheer, I know it's inconclusive, but the sheer amount of heroin in the system, the very obvious motive of Courtney trying to get money, and like multiple
Big motive.
multiple times of him being unhappy and not wanting to be with her. It's very suspect, super
The
suspect.
narrative is strange because she's the one saying he's suicidal.
true.
We think he's suicidal because of her.
Because of her.
Well, but he's also the one saying he's not.
yeah.
Like, he's also like, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, he's like,
I mean, also his friends and family were interviewed, and they were all saying, "No, I don't think he was suicidal. I don't think he was even depressed."
no, but the thing is, the only reason I am still on the fence and I'm kind of like 50-50 is because he was a heroin addict.
Yeah.
True.
And so,
So
like,
that's a wild card in
so
itself.
therefore, it's like his behavior will be sporadic. I don't know. Maybe he was having a fucking bad trip and he was just, fuck this shit, I'm done. And he clearly wrote most of this letter, at least.
Yeah.
So
Okay, but did he write the letter before or after the heroin?
I don't know. During, I don't know. I'm just saying that the fact that
I don't think he can get all that out after shooting up 7 times. 7 times. Here we go again. 7 times
no,
the
but
lethal limit.
the thing is, we don't know if that was the total or if that was
that's
the
true, that's
free.
true.
So
Okay,
that's what I'm
fine,
saying. Like,
fine.
Also, we don't know when that was written.
no. Also,
He could have wrote that in Rome.
yeah, exactly. But it also, my thing is like, I do think there's a lot of weird stuff.
You don't even believe that.
Eric's just like saying shit. He's like, he could have wrote that in Aberdeen.
We don't know.
I just think that I'm 50-50. I think that
50-50. Ooh.
my true belief is I think Courtney was trying to kill him, but maybe he had a little bad trip and it was a fucking. Then he maybe thought about it and was, you know what, going through a divorce, they'll be rich, they'll have money, fuck it. Because I think she tried to kill him in Rome.
Oh, I see.
I think she tried to.
That was more her.
I think she tried to rohypnol him because she was there and like and then it didn't work and she was probably like, fuck. Here's the reason I say that. It's fact that he went and bought shotgun shells.
Yeah.
It's fact that he got his friend to buy the shotgun.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's
So that makes him suicidal? No. That makes him want to protect himself.
Now you, know what now you know what I deal with every night.
he's living in the woods, bro. Like,
He's living in the woods.
who's
He wants,
fucking coming from? The hills have eyes? Like,
dude, he's a celebrity. Everybody's
He's
coming
a
for
celeb.
him.
well, they're all coming from. They couldn't find him for 2 days in a fucking greenhouse.
Good
Jesus
point.
Christ.
Good point. Good point.
I'm just saying that
No,
I'm 50-50. I'm 50-50.
50-50.
I could go
Could go
both.
either
I
way?
could go either way. I could go
It's
either
hard
way.
to not be 50-50 with all
Interesting.
this. Like,
That's the first.
That's the first
50-50.
one.
I
That's the
know.
first one I've ever.
First
The
full
first one
undecided.
I've ever been 50-50.
Yeah.
I'm not 50-50. I think I'm leaning more towards Courtney.
Well, yeah. Clearly, you are. Right?
Oh, yeah, I know,
Who's
right?
gonna
I know.
fight?
I was like,
Who's gonna fucking fight
from
over
like
this?
episode 1, you guys could tell.
We're like,
Kurt Cobain.
I know,
Courtney.
He's like Courtney.
Courtney did it.
Did it?
No, I mean,
Okay.
so going back to Rome, right? She, so she's all upset about this divorce thing. She tries to kill him. I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I definitely believe. I totally believe
right.
she tried to kill him in Italy. 100%.
Yeah, so it didn't work out, and then he tries to come back, and
He tried to quit.
that's right.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think he tried to quit maybe, and she was
No, I think it was after he was Lollapalooza. No, and she's like 10 milli. And she was like,
And
oh.
this whole time, she's supposed to be in rehab, but she's not. She's fucking high out of her
Oh,
mind,
yeah, she's full of
which
shit.
just makes you act insane. Like, there's no logic behind this.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
you're
true.
going to be acting insane if you're high all the time on heroin and all these other drugs all the time. That's just what I think. I think that a mix of, like, that's her truth. She was just very jealous, very controlling, or whatever. And
I
then,
agree.
and this
I
guy's
agree.
trying to leave, and then, you know, now you mix in drugs, and her solution is, oh, I got to kill him. I got to off him, you know?
Yeah, like he doesn't know what he's doing.
If he's not going to be with me, he's not going to be with anybody else.
Oh, yeah. He ain't going to be with nobody.
Okay, so
Mix in money. Man, money makes people act funny.
Hell,
You
agree.
know
the
that.
motive keeps me on that.
The motive is money. That's why I'm
keeps
saying
me
the
on the
motive
edge.
it's very apparent.
So
They had a
much.
prenup. He was clearly
Wanting
I'm
a
done.
divorce?
I'm done with you.
Divorce, money, and
Okay, so
and
that's
the
why-
fact,
that's why
and the
50-50.
fact
Yeah,
that
yeah,
she,
that's the
Yeah.
50 part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also like the fact that she can make it look very easily. He could like this
Right.
whole
And she's
scenario
been, she
because
has
of
been
his.
setting the narrative. She's also been he's trying to
That's
kill
right,
himself.
right. So let's go back. So Rome, she says he's suicidal. She calls in the police department, acting like the mom, saying he's suicidal.
Yeah, that's weird. The mom, that's a mom.
The PI he hires, she keeps telling him he's so suicidal, blah blah blah, right? So, like, she's the only one saying that.
she's promoting
the
it.
she
only
is
one.
the only one who's repping that city. Yeah, that's true.
She's in the long game.
Oh yeah, she's like the girl who crashes.
Yeah. Okay, since that's what you believe. So what happened?
Who did it? I think the guy that was living there. What was his name again?
Kale or
Chad
or
or
Callie.
Callie?
Dylan
Yeah.
or Kale?
No, Callie.
Kale.
I think he's the one that helped out to.
Because he was there 2 days and
He was there 2
nobody
days.
said anything.
It was her ex-boyfriend. Also, by the way,
They have a little fireside chat.
if you watch the documentary, there's a note that he leaves on the stairs of the house, and like you could just tell it was like a setup. It was basically a note saying like, "I can't believe you're being so rude and so like so insensitive. You're not calling back Courtney.
yeah,
Remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
Right? So it
He was
just made-
mad because also the kid.
Right? She's
You
like,
know, he's
the
like,
note
what
is
kind
like,
of
how-
dad are you?
How can you do
know?
this to Courtney? And she's going through a lot of stuff. So it was a lot
And
of
like,
like.
I'm like, you're staying at my house, you piece of shit.
Exactly.
What's
Oh,
your
and
kid-
then the note says something. I can't believe you've been here for 2 days, but I didn't know, and you didn't let me know, and I didn't notice, or something like that.
It's
So-
my house. I own the property. I'm allowed to be here whenever the fuck I want.
I'm Kurt motherfucking Cobain.
I know. It's like you're
Yeah, yeah.
nobody, Callie.
But if he was actually
Michael.
there, and Callie was also there, how did he not notice him if he was in the house? What was he in the greenhouse the whole time?
No,
for
he's
2
got to
days?
get like a turkey sandy.
Come on now.
Like,
There's
you know?
nothing in that house.
there's
In the
just
greenhouse,
so many-
there's no furniture either.
So many.
There's a stool.
inconsistencies. Exactly. There's nothing
Yeah.
there. Like, why would he hang out there?
Barricade stool.
Right. A barricade stool.
That is another the barricade stool.
Anyways, we also didn't. We I don't. Yeah.
But
there was
what
the-
happened?
So Callie
So
conspired.
you found that he shot him
Callie
up.
conspired because this is the conspiracy.
Kelly's
that
like, he's like,
he
you want, he's
worked
like,
with,
Kelly's like, you want a taste, bro?
That's
You want
right.
a little taste?
I see.
Yeah,
With the
so-
drug dealer.
with the drug dealer and with Courtney, and they basically set this up.
Shot him up.
Yep.
Big
And
time.
he probably got- he prob-
1.2, 1.5. What is it? 1.52.
1.25. 1.25.
Pretty much immobile.
Yes.
No,
At
like,
that
And then
point.
you can just
He
do
like
all the
hold on to the
things.
gun.
Exactly.
He's like,
I see.
and maybe not even like he could just shoot him and then place his hand or something.
yeah,
right?
like,
Yeah,
they
I
can just
see.
move his hand for him.
And then
I'm
you
just
wipe
like,
it.
fucking,
You wipe it real quick.
yeah, just get a little wipe.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I don't know, that's what I think, man.
All right. I get it. I get it.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Okay.
I hate to be the guy, but I think he killed himself.
You're just doing this to.
No, I'm not.
This is
No,
for ratings.
No,
Classic.
This is for ratings.
no, I think he was a insanity of a drug addict.
That's another thing. It's
depressive.
the drugs
depression,
are a wild
drugs.
card. They're a wild
Not
card.
only just
yeah.
heroin.
That's right.
They're
But
a
we don't
wild
even
card.
know. We don't even know the Ritalin thing.
Yeah, I mean,
So you
yeah,
mix in
I
Ritalin,
totally forgot about. I
Valium,
forgot about the
Heroin.
Valium. He did have Valium.
Valium in
That's
his
true.
system. You have
Did he
all
have
these different things.
Did he have Ritalin in his system, or we don't?
We
know
don't know
'cause-
that.
'cause
Yeah,
we
we knew
don't
it was
know.
it was heroin and Valium.
I'm just
We
saying
knew it was
that he-
So
heroin.
you're just throwing that in to make your point. Go ahead.
Yeah, Eric's set the stage. Here.
Yeah, I know.
He's
All
like,
I'm saying-
you know, alcohol.
American spirits.
So it's like he's seen some real sketch, some like Ebola chicken. Like,
No, I just think when you're in, it's that much drug. When it's that much drug, every moment is a new moment of insanity or sanity.
psychosis.
That's
yeah,
true.
It's like, ugh.
That's true.
So,
It's a wild
so
card.
whether or not he's suicidal in Rome doesn't matter. He's so much of a drug addict that in Aberdeen or Seattle, it doesn't like at that moment he could have been fuck it, I'm done.
You know what? Okay.
I'm out.
Just
But
to
why?
add,
You know?
Why?
no, but just to add,
Like-
I mean, all of his
Just
writings
because of the
is so
drugs?
depressing.
No, but Eric-
like he doesn't want to do what he's doing
Also,
anymore.
by the way, was this really a suicide note, or was it maybe more of a like song lyrics? That's another conspiracy
no,
there.
here's one thing.
True.
Here's
I do
one thing
like
I
that.
can say
do
is
like
like
that one. Yeah, I do like that.
what
Nothing points to it being a murder yet.
No, Eric, just to your point.
Nothing.
Eric, to your point, let's say like he gets fucked up, and he's writing this, and he's like, yeah, and then like this starts kicking, he's like, oh fuck, and then he's like, why am I here? And he starts writing bigger, and he's like even bigger, like. You know, because it gets progressively bigger. It just keeps getting progressively, and he's like more like.
Yeah, but everything we see in the movies, that shit kicks in fast,
I know.
immediate.
I know.
So
Okay,
look
alright.
at the size of this.
Jorge,
How long do
sure.
you think that would take you to write that? no, I'm serious. How long do you think it would take you to write that?
No, but Jorge, also in the movies, they also have movies, The Transporter,
That's right.
where Jason Statham's immortal. So, you know, the movies aren't really real.
I know.
Let's just be honest.
But they're not.
He literally like 360s an Audi into like a parking garage.
Okay, fine. I mean, you know.
I mean, have you seen Avatar?
Yeah.
Like, hello, real life.
Hello.
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know anything about
I
fucking
know
heroin.
there's
All
some-
I'm saying is
I know
that
there's some weird stuff.
from what I know, you shoot something into your veins, that's just going to act immediate. And by the way, don't forget 7 times lethal limit.
I understand, like even.
So
I
how
also-
long?
I also
How
understand.
long would it take you to write that?
I
Look
also
at how
can't
small
imagine
that
how
is.
small. I can't write that small super sober. Like, but that's just
right.
me. I think maybe he wrote it and then it was.
Yeah, maybe it
I
was
think
like,
I'll do a little-
like 3 sittings.
He's like, I'll do a little heroin now.
Maybe he
And
did
then-
it in
and he's
multiple
like-
sittings.
Oh, that's a good
And
point.
then he started making mistakes. He
That's
started. Look,
yeah, I didn't
yeah.
think about
He
that.
started
I thought it
doing
was
it-
all at once.
No, he starts
I
doing
mean-
little scratchy.
You know, you
He's
get a
like,
different
he's like,
pen.
fuck that up. Fuck that up. Shit.
Yeah.
He's like, what did I write there? Who wills it? I can't even read this.
Here's
shit.
my
Or,
thing.
or
Here's my
by
thing.
the way, another thing that we didn't really dive into is Courtney. You mentioned this though, but Courtney had the handwriting
Which is
practicing
super
whatever.
weird.
There's another theory that this was all traced from other
Yeah,
lyrics.
no, I did see
lyrics
that.
from
I
like
did see
other
that.
books that he had written, or
Yeah.
notes that he had
Yeah,
taken or whatever,
yeah.
just writing
His
down
own
lyrics or
notebooks.
whatever. Yeah, his own notebooks or whatever. And then they took some of those lyrics or whatever, and then they traced it and they wrote this note.
Possible.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I don't know. Here's my thing.
it's like
At
way
first-
too elaborate for these retards.
At first,
Like, I,
and
don't know,
then-
like,
I
I
know-
can't imagine Courtney being like, "Oh yeah, I want to trace the trace." Nah,
Here's the thing. I know that I'm gonna get shit for this because I know a lot of people are
Shit.
on board with you.
Yes.
Jorge. Yeah. So after learning about him and his life, I actually thought less of him. You know what I mean? Because he got pregnant, he became a family man and started doing heroin while he was pregnant.
well, he wasn't pregnant, but his wife. was.
Yeah.
I understand that.
She also was doing heroin.
But still,
so.
I do blame him just as much as her. You know?
Oh
what
yeah,
I
I
mean?
mean,
On
yeah,
that.
I would, yeah.
You know, because
understand.
you're literally like, yo, you're pregnant, you can't do it, bro.
Only I can.
Yeah.
And you're
Heroin's
sitting
for
here-
me only.
Yes. Yeah, you know, I feel like he created this very dramatically depressive life.
Yeah,
And it was so so emotional and so bro, man.
and like I do get
like
it.
what
yeah,
happened? What happened to him? His parents got divorced?
I understand that sucks, but like I can't.
Are you kidding?
You're saying,
that's
like-
it? I'm just saying it's just so dramatic.
It seems
Yeah.
like
For that.
I mean,
For that.
Yeah, it's not like his parents were like beating him and like, keeping him a
No.
slave.
Yes. It's
And, like-
so dramatic. Meaning he turned to drugs because it felt good.
It felt good.
Yeah.
It felt good.
Yeah.
And then he became an addict.
Yeah.
And he lost his mind. He was still an artist. Great. He did a few great songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there you go. But at the same time, he became so
Drugs took
psychotic in my mind that a majority of the evidence, 51% of the evidence, leans me to believe that he killed himself.
51%.
No, if you,
And that's enough for me to just say,
well, if you do look
I
at,
don't really see anything that.
if you do look at, they do the multiple interventions, and he's my friends are fucking against me.
Yeah, and I'm
like,
just like,
they're like, dude,
fuck
stop
you,
doing
dude.
drugs. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like that's a little weird.
I
Like,
know.
why?
A lot of people react that way from an intervention. A lot. and
Totally.
they don't go and fucking
Totally.
off themselves.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And they react that way because they can't
And they
take
have way
responsibility.
shittier lives. They don't fucking have the millions that he had.
Well, dude, I know, but still, his parents got divorced when he was 9.
But maybe it's not all that it's cracked up to be.
What?
The money
The-
and the
money and the fame?
the playing
Well,
in front of thousands of people, just playing a song.
Yeah.
Well, it's not filling the. It's clearly
Yeah.
not. It clearly wasn't filling the void
That's
that
right.
he
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
He
You know,
just
and
wanted to
and
be creative, be
Yeah.
creating his music
Yeah.
or whatever. But he didn't want the fame. He actually
Yeah.
that's why he wanted to quit.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all agree that Courtney was not a good influence.
No, she was the worst.
So if anything,
we all agree
if
she was
anything,
a
I
piece of
almost
shit.
am like,
Like, Courtney's a
I'm
piece of
almost like,
shit.
yeah,
Like-
I'm almost, yeah. Well, he offed himself because
To get away from her, just to he's like, this is the only way I could really get divorced for life. Yeah, we are done.
But there is a little bit of me going. There is some weird stuff. I do understand.
No, there's
I understand why we did this episode because there is some weird shit.
and there's weird
Yeah.
stuff. I just don't know how you can be that depressed for you. Like, my daughter will be better off without me.
That's
That-
right.
I'm
I know.
like,
I
really?
know.
he must have
I
been
think about that.
He must have been an asshole.
I'm like, really?
Right?
Yeah, maybe he treated her like
Was
shit.
he
Maybe he
like-
did.
He
yeah.
must have.
Extremely
Why
depressed.
why would you think that?
I
Unless you did something wrong,
extremely
right?
depressed. No, you don't have to do. Well, I mean, you're
Maybe
you're a
he's
drug
on-
addict.
and he's
like,
on
so
tour,
maybe-
and he's like never
what's
around
the
her,
reason,
I guess.
Yeah, what's the reason why you would say you're better off without me? Is it because you've done something?
Oh.
Or maybe you just weren't
Right?
there. You're shitty. Yeah. you're yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way at all. So I'm like,
Yeah. Well, now
my
I
daughter needs me like there. I need to be there. Like,
yeah. Well, now I feel worse than when I did at the beginning of this episode.
I actually feel I feel worse now than I did after episode 1 when they were like, he's dead. So, what are your great theories?
It's so depressing. I know. The conspiracy is more uplifting than what
I know.
the
It's
opinion
like,
of it.
I changed my. I rescind my.
Yes.
I'm no longer 50-50.
Yeah,
I'm
he was
51.
killed.
I'm 51-49.
Yeah, a great poet of our time was murdered. Cold blood.
It is actually like it's
Yeah.
actually better that he get murdered.
It's so weird when like somebody that famous, that powerful, and maybe not powerful, but like just that famous,
Influential.
influential.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And then they die, and it's like everybody kind of feels it. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's just weird. Like, and
yeah.
now we're going through it again, and
You
kind of
feel it in.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Dude,
man.
I still feel Robin Williams.
yeah,
Dude, I know. That's such a shame.
Right? Like,
or Kobe Bryant.
Kobe,
like that one
too.
hit me, man.
yeah.
And the fact that it was his daughter too.
Yeah,
So,
that was a big.
Oh God.
And it's like, what's funny? It's like for a while I didn't like Kobe because
Yeah.
I don't like.
I was like,
I
hate
don't
the
like.
Lakers.
Yeah,
Yeah, I hate
I
the
don't like the Lakers.
But I became a Kobe fan. I
know.
I became. I don't know. Like we're super
yeah.
digress.
I understand what you're saying. Anthony Bourdain, I didn't like. That was upsetting to me.
Yeah,
too.
I know.
Yeah.
Because I really liked
I really
his-
liked Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, I liked his life.
By the way, should we do another episode on Anthony Bourdain? You guys let us know.
Yeah, we never doing another one.
Yeah.
We didn't do one.
No,
No,
I'm
he's
saying
saying
should we do
Oh,
another
yeah, yeah, sorry,
episode of our podcast?
Eric's like, the confusion in Eric's face is like he was so perplexed. Like,
No.
what are you talking about? I understand.
He's like, should we do another episode on Anthony Bourdain? I'm like,
episode 2.
when? Did I just black out?
Eric,
Do you roof me?
Eric got
Talking to them.
Eric got 50 Rohypnols.
Dude, we should.
No more Miller Lights for
Also,
you.
all right, guys. Well, that is Kurt Cobain. I know all three of us have different opinions. This is actually usually
take that, Facebook guy.
yeah. So I don't know where you guys stand. Maybe we'll do a poll.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Just
should do a
check
poll.
it out.
Do you stand with Eric, Sean, or Jorge?
Yeah.
You decide.
I do kind of like Sean's position in this because one piece of evidence could kind of tip it over.
That's what I'm saying. I just
No,
need,
I
you
do
need
understand.
one
You-
more
you-
nugget. I need one more nugget.
One more thing.
Hold on, because you can't be 50-50. You're on both sides. Take a side, 51-50 or 51-49 at
I
least.
let him be 50-50.
all right.
No, you
That's
said
fine.
51-49 at least.
Yeah, I'm 51.
Listen.
So
Jorge,
you gotta be 51 on one
You can't
side.
tell me to live my life. I identify as 50-50.
No, I like it because for the longest period when I was researching this, I was like, I have no idea.
If I
have
had,
no idea.
if I had to lean,
1%.
I would lean towards he was killed.
There's just too much motive.
There's a lot of motive.
That's the only.
That's the big
I'd
thing
give it
that
the 1% for the motive, dude.
I know.
I'd give it for the motive, and that's fine.
I like it.
Yeah.
Me and Sean.
Motive's
Me and Sean on the same side again.
Hell is brown stick together,
Yes,
brother.
yes, sir.
Although I will say that I am very open to being leaned on this one.
Okay.
Like I'm not as
Okay.
Oh shit.
That's the thing.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one, and nighty night.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the show. If you want to reach out to us, please email us at info@theconspiracypodcast.com. You can check us out on Instagram at @conspiracypodcast. Also, don't forget to subscribe. You can catch a new podcast almost every week. Just hit the little subscribe button at the top. It's a plus sign. We love show ideas, corrections, hate mail. Thanks a bunch.